Hello, this is Emily, and my Etsy store is Yesterday's Stash, and I'm here today to talk to you about a book that I have just put together. Well, I've actually been putting it together for a while. It's one of those types of books that you feel like you just got to add one more little thing, or anyway, to the buttons and bling, some glitter, some bling here. And then I've got seashells here on the side. Well, this book is 8.5 by 5.5 by 3 inches. The spine, the same flowers that are on the spine are here on the front, and I've got some green buttons here. The picture back here is, of a green space at a house, and it's got laminate on it as well as the glitter. Actually, I used stickles to the green stickles to do the glitter with. The back side has got a big pocket space, and it has some tags on it. Got a mushroom here, and then the book is put together with a upholstery fabric. And I like for my books to not flip up so much. So I also put rubber band on my books to just keep them flat and keep them from popping up so much. I'll be including that. So the book itself is 100 pages, I think, or in that range. I concentrate on textures when I do my books. I've been doing these books maybe 10, 15 years. And I started shortly after I retired, but actually while I was still working part-time, I still did this. So the theme is in the woods. It's all about different trees, being in the woods, what it's like, what it feels like to go through the woods on a early morning, afternoon stroll. This is from the library so you can put this anywhere you want on any page you want, that it would work. So I put that at the very, very front of the book. This is make my own tags. So I've got an envelope here with a tag of a quote by Jane Goodall. And when I say textures, I mean I just like a lot of different layers to blend together to make a book. So like this particular page here has got this, and this, but they all sort of blend together. Not exactly, but it doesn't look bad together. This is actually a piece of wallpaper that I found at a thrift store, and then this over here is scrapbook paper. And then I make my own tags, so throughout the book I might pull up a couple of tags. It's 100 pages, so when I go over, I'm probably not going to talk about every single page, but I'll probably just bring up some new tips or ideas that I might have learned. I get a lot of ideas from Etsy, the junk journal community. And speaking of junk journals, there's a whole language that I had to learn when I was doing this. A whole language of terms that go along with when you're talking about a junk journal. So lace, trims, borders, all kinds of different words, which I might mention some when I as I go through. Writing pages. I've got about 30 pages front and back are writing pages. Maybe it's not quite 30, but it's a lot. For instance, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4.5. These papers are front and back. I didn't coffee stain all of them because I want you to feel like you could use this book as a scrapbook, and you can add your own things to it. Maybe you're collecting stamps of trees or something to that effect. You could use this, and it's thick enough. It's 65 pounds, so that it's not going to be difficult for you to use both sides. Butterflies here, four-leaf clovers there, stamps here that you can add your own, or maybe you just want to make this a journal for writing on. My favorite tree is the aspen, so that's going to have to be the first tree. Or this is a an aspen tree in the fall, and it says here, this is what I thought was interesting about this. This fast-growing, deep-rooted tree is found widely throughout Europe, North Africa, and Western Asia. It must be the type of aspen tree, and that's what was put around on this. But it's really interesting because we have lots of aspen trees here in the U.S. as well. When we were in, I think it was Utah or someplace, we were driving through, and just miles of just those beautiful trees that were swaying, and the bark is white, so it's just a whole different way of looking at a tree when you go through a forest with that. Did find this is a paper that I used a lot in this book. I had never used it before, but I did find it, and I brought it home, and I said one day I'm going to do a book about trees, and I'm going to use this paper. And I finally was able to settle down to this book and use the wallpaper. This is an example of a bark from an aspen tree, and then this came from Taperlogy, and it's you get quite a few flowers that are big like this that you peel off and can put on your pages, and I've got about 3 examples of those in this book. And another thing is coffee dyed, or coffee stained, or tea dyed, tea stained paper, or dyeing your paper with red cabbage, just having different colors in the book to give it a different character than you would have in just plain pages. This particular one, I set out in the sun and put these pages on here, and then I set them out in the sun in the backyard and put a plastic tablecloth over it, and this is what came through. So it's pretty neat that you can do that kind of thing and put it in a book like this. So more of these pages for writing or doing your own projects on. This is a picture of a foggy forest, and it came out of a magazine. I have drawers and drawers of magazines. I'm going to have to get rid of them because my husband's starting to call me a hoarder, because I just love magazines, and I love to use pictures out of magazines. I don't know, when you were in elementary school, did you all have to memorize a poem? Well, all in my class, I think it was like 4th or 5th grade, and we had to memorize this particular poem. I think that I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree, and we all had, and it's much longer than this, and I think we had to memorize maybe 16 or 20 pages or lines, but it helped me to respect trees, and it helped me to, I still remember to this day having to memorize this and practicing it at night at the supper table. Say, I have to do this tomorrow, so let me go over this with the family. This is a cute picture that I found. It's actually a postcard, but it's of a kitty cat sticking out from a conifer tree, and some stones there. These pages came from Amazon, and they were like it just like pages for a book, ephemera pages. They were just so, I don't know, the colors just really but it also motivated me, the colors here motivated me to add extra color to it. So I took these look like dogwoods, and I did a little bit of gel medium over top of some of them, And this is of a swing set out in a forest. And I did some more of that with the little gel pens. I have about, I don't know, 10 or so of these little charms. This one is of a turtle. And then another picture out of that book from Amazon, and I'm not sure what kind of a flower that is, butterfly. And then pockets. I love to put pockets in because you can take everything out of the pockets, the tags that I did, use them for something else, and put your own tags in as you would like. This is an interesting page out of a magazine, and it is a picture of a kind of a swampy area, which is Louisiana Purchase State Park in Holly Grove, Arkansas. And it lies on the spot where the land surveyors after Thomas Jefferson purchased that area, they did a lot of surveying before they built on it, and they obtained the Mississippi River. So it was just an exciting time in the history and how America laid claim to the mighty river. So this is kind of an area around the Mississippi River. This is a picture, or some different types of writing that you can use. Some of these, like I say, are coffee stained, and others of them are not. This is another one of the taper logi on the aspen tree bark. And then this page here also has a little part of that taper logi purchase in it. Like I say, I enjoy making handmade tags. I just really like to make them. Basically, I make them as I go along in the book, even though I have a whole collection of tags that I could use. I kind of get interested in making the tags go exactly with what's on the pages. But that's not necessary, and it's certainly not something that we need to do. But let's see. This is actually lined paper front and back, so you can write on it. You can, and then this is a little bit thicker than this. So depending on the thickness of the pages and what you want to use them for, there's enough of a variety there for you. Here's another example of a junk journal term, a belly band, where you run a band or across instead of having a pocket here or having it go this way. You can have it going sort of vertical. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but these are called Thoughtfuls, and it's from a company called live-inspired.com. And this is almost open, but it's got a perforated edge, and it opens up, and it has a saying or a quote. And this particular box, I got 20. You get 20 to a box, and it says, this particular one says smile. So most of the quotes would probably be something about smiling. But just a really great thing to put in a junk journal. And this is new. This is most all of the stuff, and I can't say all of the stuff, but a whole lot of the stuff comes from junk, from thrift stores and such. But this particular thing here is one thing that I did buy new. Here's layers. I've got cork here. I've got lace. I've got fabric. I've got embroidery. And I've got another piece of trim right here. And the paper and the water on this side. So quite a collection of different mediums to make. And then I've got this little charm here. So this is an example of taking old magazines and old newsprint and finding interesting things in them. This is advertisements from an old magazine. This is another one of those thoughtfuls. This one is called You Matter. It says pop open here, so you pop this open and you get, and there's a little space here that if you wanted to, you could, but the URL is right here, live-inspired.com, so you can easily find them online. This reminds me of a redwood forest in California, and use the page to show how massive these trees are. You can see I'm using the paper. It's really a good, yeah, I found it and it's wallpaper, but I can't remember where I found it. I think I found it at either a place like just a thrift store, or maybe it's something that was in a stack of papers that I didn't. When you go to the thrift store and they have these stacks of papers and they have them wrapped, you can't really see what it is you're getting until you get home and tear it open. But anyway, wrapping paper, stamps. This is an envelope where I did some stenciling on the outside, and then this is a couple of tags that have some writing spaces in there for you, little tags or tucks for writing spaces. This particular one has some pink in it, and I guess these are chrysanthemums. I'm not sure. And then this is this was an old reel of, it showed, I think what you do is you put these in and then you snap it, or you put it in, and anyway, it was something from that you use a camera for, or some sort of a micro something to. But anyway, it's a picture of a girl around a little creek feeding the ducks. This particular one shows how borders can add to a page so nicely. And this is a poem about, she stopped and she heard what the trees said to her, and so forth and so on. And this one is titled Dream. I'm not sure how many different titles this thoughtfuls, but these are the ones that I found at a nothing but Bundt Cake store in my town. This is a handmade tag and an interesting lined paper that had this perfect color of outdoor greens and kind of fall colors and light yellows that add some character to that page. And this particular green background is pink, so I was able to take a couple of tags and put them in there. This is the center of the second signature. So again, signature being a word. Collaging, quotes, using whatever you can find at the junk store or the thrift store. And when I go, I'm always thinking about books I've made and what I can use these for. This particular is a paper clip. It's a clef note out of a music, which I found in a few of them in a thrift store. This is the other side of that fabric. Here again, some more writing, little strips of paper for writing. This is dark for craft paper that's been coffee dyed. This particular one has both pink and purple on it, so this is an example of taking a paper clip and putting Aida cloth, which any kind of cloth would work, and then this is a stopper We used to get milk delivered to our house, and we always had like this little iron basket on the outside of your house, and you would let the guy know how much milk you want delivered. And they always came in glass, and they had these paper stoppers on them, and that's what you use to open it. This is an example of I'm going to say I think it's a hemlock tree, but I don't know enough about trees to be able to tell what it is. But it's from a magazine. It's just this whole group of large, tall, skinny trees. This came from a Rolodex card. So you're looking for different kinds of cards that you can use to make into something else, so that they don't get, Rolodex is not really used anymore. Maybe they are, I'm not sure, like in if an organ, but for the most part, our people's addresses are somewhere inside a computer. So, but anyway, this is taking one of these Rolodex cards, which I found a whole stack, plus the Rolodex itself, which I didn't use. You can't really use that for anything. And this is some more stamping on this side. Row of fabric, little fabric strips, and just really a lot of fun to put these things together. This is the third signature, and I had found a piece of paper that fabric that was an upholstery fabric, and it had all these long strips of leaves, and I just cut out around them, and I just stuck them in here because behind that is Aida cloth, and then behind that is like a craft text or something like that I have attached the book, the signatures to, and then I cover that with on the outside. This is actually a piece of upholstery, and again it has glitter on it. So the last signature is more of the aspen tree, a little tuck here, 4-leaf clover, a couple of these, rivers and creeks and lakes and all kinds of things around woods. This is one of those bags that I have stuck some things in, and this is a big. This is another picture that came from that book of ephemera and scrapbook paper. This is a piece of artwork here, which was to me just so pretty. But it had a little water, and this big tree. And I love the way the colors, the greens blend with each other. Deer, birds, this is a tag that I made that I used a trim, a little tiny flower trim. This paper came from an Etsy seller who was selling her digital kits for his. Another foggy day in the forest. And then this is a piece of fabric that I cluttered up and put a quote on. This is a fold out. It has different elements of this quote by Dale Carnegie. And then this is like a double space, and I kind of like to do that to break the pages up a little bit sometimes. This is from a piece of wallpaper, and it has a green lattice on it, and then this plant quote And here's another one of those that has a picture of a river or lake. And you know, I just thought that it was a good picture for discovering elements of a forest. More of the same here. Some of the paper is a glossy, and some of it is just is what we call flat. This is a glossy paper. Use whatever I can find that is can be run through a printer. And this last page is an interesting picture that I found of a what do you call this? Coffee. In a world that consumes 2 billion cups of coffee each day, climate change is threatening the most popular species. So this is actually a coffee plant. Not quite sure where it's grown, but this is an 1896 illustration of coffee in a book called Curtis's Botanical Magazine. The last page is got birds. This one has a pocket you can use, and then the back of the book. And in the woods. This is my Etsy store. Yesterday's stash. My name, sometimes when you search you have to put the person's name. So mine is Emily R. Strader. And then yesterday's stash. So this, I will have this book up for sale in the Etsy store, and it will have that information in it. It will also have information about the book. Appreciate your coming along and watching this video of this prized book that I have finally finished. So we'll talk again soon. Thank you.